Hi everyone. So today we're starting some orange flowers, and I mean orange perennials. Now orange is the color of the year. It's Pantene Peach actually that is the color of the year, which is kind of cool. However, I want to add more orange to the garden, and finding orange perennials is really hard. There is gems that are orange, which I could not find any seed for. I could only find red. And you can do annuals like zinnias. You can do bulbs like lilies in your bed, but I want perennials that will come back every year that I can count on. So we're going to do some milkweed, and this is good in zones 4 to 9. And then we're going to grow some wallflowers, Siberian. This is new to me. So I think this is going to be really pretty. And this is supposed to be zones 3 to 9 on this packet. So we're going to start these today and see how they do. Now in the past, I have grown milkweed before. Like I started them last year. They did not do well. So this year I'm trying to up my game. And what I have done is I have put them in the fridge for about 5 to 6 weeks to chill the seed. So now we'll plant them, and we're just going to loosely plant them in a tray. And then we will plant these as well in another tray and get them going. And we're going to see how these do. I did not chill these. These are direct from the store. So let's get going. And just a heads up, I'm using Jiffy seed starting mix, which I use a lot, and I'll post a picture so that you can see what it is. So per usual, I have my seed starting mix. I've sterilized it with boiling water. I've also let it sit a couple days for it to cool down and not be quite so wet. So I think it's in a really good consistency right now. It's not dripping wet. It's just really nice feeling soil. So we're going to scoop it into this container. And I'm just going to loosely plant these. I've got 2 packages, and I want to put these in my front flower bed, along the path, and then throughout the garden. And the reason I want to do that is I want to attract all the pollinators, particularly butterflies, which we don't seem to be getting many of here in Saskatchewan. So I want to kind of up my game on that and try to attract more of them to the garden, as well as the hummingbirds and the bees. Just love them. And I feel like every garden needs a touch of orange in it, because orange is what I consider a versatile color in the garden. It goes well with annuals, perennials, any shades in the color spectrum. It works really well with, and it looks great with reds. Reds and purples, it looks fantastic. So I think, I would recommend we all start adding a little more orange to our garden to give it that extra dimension and depth to our color palette. So I'm just going to fill this in like this, and I'm only going to go this high because we're going to top it up. So that looks pretty good there. So with milkweed seed, this seed takes up to 21 days to germinate. It will get 18 to 24 inches high, which is a really nice height. So you can put it at the front of the border or in the middle. It works well. It's nice if you mass plant these in groupings to get that big bright effect in the garden. And it's recommended that you start these 8 to 10 weeks prior to your last frost. I am starting them a little bit ahead because I find they are slow to grow. So let's see if I can get them started and that I get better germination this year than I did last year. And just to be safe, I'm doing 2 packages of these. Now it doesn't say anything on there whether it needs to germinate in darkness or light, so we're just going to go with light, and we can see here what we're getting for seed. And the nice part is they aren't super tiny. And you're getting a lot of seed, so this tray should technically be full. And I am just going to broadcast spread it out and just work my way along. And because I can see where I'm putting these, and I'll show you guys a close-up of that, it should be fairly easy to sow. I'm not going to do 1 seed per tray for the 9-up packs because I want a lot of germination here and I want a lot of plants. So if I get more 1 plant in a section, that's okay. There's a little bit of a... because I want lots. And some plants, I feel it's okay to plant thick. So because these were bad germinators last year, we're going to make sure that they're better this year by doing mass planting of seeds. I mean, worst case scenario, if we got really super good germination, and there they are, you can see them there, then what we do is we just thin them. So easy. But I really want a full tray of these seeds. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to press them into the soil. I find that works really well. Then we are going to top them up with a bit of soil to cover them. And that took approximately about 3/4 of a bag of the seed starting mix to do this. And I'm using everything up in my tray. And this is when I like to use my hands to sprinkle it on. And then I'm going to pat it down a bit again, very gently. All right, so that is in there. So we're going to give it a mist now. This container of water contains the root booster in it that I showed you in the previous video. So that I'm hoping will help. And we're just going to go along and make good contact with this soil. And then we'll put a label on and we'll put them under the grow lights. That should penetrate that top layer of soil pretty good. And I'll just write it out here. So if this tray does well, we could have a lot of milkweed, which would be great. Now I did buy a couple perennial milkweeds last year from the garden centers, and we'll see if they come back. That will be key. And that's all there is to start in milkweed. Now this wallflower that I'm growing here is supposed to be very fragrant. It is resistant to deers and rabbits. Pollinators love it, and it is a type of flower that will adjust to all soil types, whereas the milkweed will tolerate dry soil very well. This will tolerate all soil types. Now this will germinate in 16 to 19 days, and it's going to get about 10 to 12 inches high, so it's perfect for a border. I think it's really lovely. You can also dry this. It's considered a wild flower, which is interesting. We'll see if it looks true to the picture or if it looks like a weed, but I want to give this a go. It is perennial, so it is hardy to our zones here, and it doesn't say anything about starting it early. Wait, I need to correct myself. Zones 3 to 9. I was right. 3 to 9. Sometimes, you know, I need to wear my glasses. So anyhow, so this is good, and we'll give it a go, and hopefully it doesn't look like a weed in the garden, but the flowers look gorgeous. The fact that it's fragrant should be nice along a path and a border of a path, and I'm really digging the tangerine mango color. I think that's pretty. So once again, same soil mix. We're using Jiffy, and take my wooden spoon out of the way. I had about 3 or 4 pails of soil mixed up ahead of time because I go through it so fast. Let's fill this tray up. If this tray, I should say, does not take a full packet of the wallflower, I will add another perennial in here and kind of split it in half. That's an option. It's kind of funny while I'm doing this, Rob's trying to sneak around the house quietly and not make any noise, not to interrupt the video. It's kind of sweet. Of course, Matilda, she don't care. She's going around here. I think she wants her supper. So she's looking at me right now, staring me down because she wants to eat, which is kind of funny. Okay, I'm just gonna break this up a little bit more, fill in the gaps, make sure I got it fairly level. Now is the time. We're heading into the end of February, and it's time to get your seed starting game on. So there's gonna be lots of people starting seeds, which is very exciting. I've noticed that the stores have really picked up in the number of people looking for seeds, and they're starting to get picked over. I actually picked up some extra delphinium seed today, another 4 or 5 packs, just because it was going so fast. All right, you can see this seed. It's very small, but it's easy to see. So I'm just gonna go and start it here. And we'll see how far it goes. And then I'll go halfway across here. I hate to waste a full tray for seeds and then only have half of them germinate, but I think this is gonna be okay. I think we're gonna be able to do a full tray with this. Yes, we are. And they're stuck to my hands. I'm just gonna put them in like that. So we're looking at about 3 to 4 weeks for these to germinate. Sorry, had to get around the other side for this. So between these two projects, the milkweed and the wallflower, I used a full bag of Jiffy soil mix, seedling mix is what I use. Because Jiffy does make a regular soil mix too. Okay, and let's just spread this out. Because I don't want it too thick in some spots and not in others. And any little lumps. And this one is more moist, so I'm not going to add any extra water to help it germinate. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this under the grow lights, and I already put the label on. I am going to put the package, attach the package to the tray. And that's it. That's all it takes. I think this should be really, really pretty. Let me know in the comments if you've tried this before. It's a Mackenzie seed. We'll see how it does. I haven't seen it anywhere else. And I like the way it kind of looks like a phlox, the way it kind of mounds on the branch, or even like a bit of a verbena. You can see the way, like right here, the way it's kind of mounding with lots of blooms. So I'm excited to try this and see how it does. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm excited to plant a lot of orange, hot, vibrant flowers, particularly along the path and in the backyard. I want a lot of color this year. I need more color. I like pastels, don't get me wrong. There is a place for pastels in the garden, but I live on the prairies and it's dull. You know, winter and spring, things are pretty gray in the spring to start out before the grass starts greening up and the buds start happening on the trees and that. So I need some color. So bright, vibrant colors are the way to go. And you know, we can mix our colors together. We don't have to be scared about mixing colors. You know, purples, yellows, reds, they do look good together. Hot pinks look great with reds and oranges. So a kaleidoscope of color is what I'm going for. So thanks everyone for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.